Good morning, it's Esther again. Welcome to the Truck and Scribe. So glad you came by. Right now I'm working on part 2 of the swap traveler's notebook soft cover that we've been working on. We did the cover in the last video, covered some of the ideas of what we could use to make the cover. Today we're going to put the signatures in. If I missed something, definitely let me know, and I hope this helps you, and let me know what else would be of use that you can learn. Thank you. So like I said, a signature is going to be where we sew this in right here. This one's got one signature, but we're going to need at least 2 for our book. I have been doing a lot of coffee dyeing. I got just engrossed in all of this beautiful designs, and now I can't seem to stop making paper. I actually have some on my back porch now. So if you had a bigger sheet, a bigger paper or book, you would just kind of figure out, like right here, you need a little bit on the edges, and that's how you determine your cover. But you got to take into account that you're also going to have 2 signatures. So what I'm going to do with this paper is I'm going to fold it in half like this. And now there's a couple of different ways. Let me go grab. So we are playing with sharp instruments all the time anyway. When you are well, you don't even have I learned this when I was taking classes for book binding. You use this and you get like a serrated edge. So if you used your ruler and tore the paper, do the same thing. So out of this one sheet, we're actually going to get 2. So we need 5 full sheets of paper folded. So a full sheet of paper, even for this size, would be right here. This is a full sheet, even though it's cut in half. I do like to crease my papers. And to get started, if you're new at this, a small one like this would be great. You could have 10 sheets of paper, and once you fold it in half and cut it, you have 20. So that would be, I think, let me see, wait a minute. Number of sheets per signature, 5 full sheets of paper, 10 pages or 20 sides. So, let me see. I'm going to have to do some counting here. I apologize because I didn't think about this, but I always have to think about it, count. So you just stick one inside the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're going to need another so we were at 16. If I put this one sheet in here, that would make 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's see how many pages we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 full A4 sheets, or here in the US, the 8.5 by 11, will actually be plenty of paper per signature. So right here, we've already got one signature ready, that quick. So let's get a few more. So here's one. And these are kind of grungy looking. I was experimenting, but they are, you see right here, stencil I had put on it. Gives it character. And you can use digital prints, like I did in my other book, to carry your theme, or you can make stuff as you go along, like tickets. If you had some tickets from a game or something, you could put those in there if you were willing to share. So let's see if I got enough paper. Got one. I think I do. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what I would do, if I'm going to have the decorative paper, I'm going to look through here and find one of these. For my first pages, I would put something decorative in it. Oh, let me grab one over here and put over there. Eight, 9, 10. So you can put other stuff in here. And this first one, I'm just going to do the signature. That's all I'm going to do. So we know that our signature is this size. So we need to put, we're going to do a pamphlet stitch. So you got one hole here, one here, one here. If you look inside, I don't know if you can see it very well. Yeah. So we went in here, came up here, went all the way down to here, went down and came back here and tied that knot. And that holds all these pages in. You can have different size pages, but this particular one, I'm going to do just the size that the same thing. So then whichever one we don't do now, we can go back and add some more signatures. Okay. So what we're going to do is, we could use our paper there, but since I already know what size it is, I am just going to make my template like this. I folded my paper the same way, just using the ruler to trim it up. So this piece of paper should be the same size as the paper behind it. What I need to do is put 3 holes, one here, one in the middle, and one down here. It's called a pamphlet stitch. You can see in the middle of this one, we start in the middle, go down, come up here, go all the way to the bottom, go down, and come back up here and tie knots. That easy. Well, to get our holes, we need to know how tall our signature is. So see, that matches. What I do first is go ahead and fold it in half this way, because we're going to use this to put our signatures in, make holes in this too. So then I go and I fold it this way. So I've actually got an X in the center. It's going to be my middle hole. Then what I want to do is fold this up here to where it has a little bit of room between this little X and the top, or this little X in the top. Then, so let's do this first. I have my, really don't need this wide of one, but we'll use it. What I'm going to do is take my signature. If you have writing in it, you just look through, make sure everything's where you want it to be. And then you come to this middle signature. And you kind of push them all up. Put that like that. If you have bigger pages, definitely put more than one on there. So one thing I left out is we need to put top and bottom on our paper, because these little holes could be off like a fraction of a millimeter, and it will throw your signatures. It'll make them crooked when you put them in your cover. So always put the top at the top of your paper. And what you're going to do is this folded part is going to go in there, and you're matching up the top and the bottom. I'm going to take one of these off because it's a little hard. If you're doing this size, paper clip would do good too to hold this in. So you can put your paper clip like right there, and then right here too. See how they're all meeting up at that point? I'm going to take the clips off. Then what I'm going to do is poke a hole here, here, here. See, my awl is coming through. Watch your fingers. So when you take this off, make sure that you lay these signatures the same way. That way, when you get ready, you can put them in. So this one, once again, check in to make sure they're the right way up if it has print on it. Look at your paper to see if they're where you want them to be, because now's the time to change them. You can, so this is where my top's going to be. I want this at my top. It's prettier. Actually, I'm going to turn this around. So I like that better. So I got it all lined up again, and since this is going to be my top, put my paper clip right here. See how it's in there? So once again, we're lined up here, and we're lined up right there. We're going to poke our holes the same way, in the same place. So now this template, we're going to use it to mark our holes over here. What I need to do is figure out, especially with only two, I think I might want maybe, what, half an inch. I want to give room so that my signatures have room to grow. I'm just going to draw a couple lines on here at half an inch. I can see that. There it is. Half an inch right here. We'll go down here and do half an inch. You can do one in the middle too. basically what I'm doing is marking that next line so that we have all of our, so then you can and if you had more signatures, you could just keep going over in different on all sides. So we may put more in the next one. What I'm going to do is now I need this in the middle. So I'm going to try and match those up so I've got a middle. Yep. And I'm not going to do anything with this part right here except get where you can see it. I'm just going to have it as my center mark. So this blue line right here is going to be the center of my cover since I'm doing 2. Look at this, see where my front, this is my front. So take this, so you got it folded on this line. You're going to stick it in here to where it's same thing. You're looking to have that edge in there. So right about there is where we want it, but see what the problem is? If we go all the way to the top, or we'll have all this at the bottom. So what we're going to do is just move it down and kind of eyeball it right here. And then we're still going to mark, we're going to poke holes in these through the fabric. And I have some styrofoam. What to do with it? And I just moved that. Let me line it up again. Never hurts. I'm in. And here your paper clips come in handy again. Kind of hold it down. So poking a hole right there. See, I'm going through my styrofoam. So I'm trying to make sure I get a good size hole. I'm skipping the blue line and I'm going to the next hole. This is where my 2 signatures are going to be. Do the same thing in the middle. And you don't necessarily have to poke so deep, but I am, so you guys can see it better, and I can see it better. See, here's our, this is pulling the batting through too, so we'll have to fix that. But there's our hole. So I'm gonna put this over to the side. And save it for our next, because we can still use this for this one. So I'm just gonna paper clip it off. So again, we need our needle and thread. For this, you would measure like 3 times your signature. 1, 2, and this would be 3. So I usually start in the back. I don't know why, it's just where I start. But see your holes right here, you got 1 here, 1 there, 1 there. So you're gonna go down the middle. We're gonna see if we can't see these holes. This is gonna be a problem with this particular fabric because it's, so right there's 1. Here's another, I think this is the second one. Yep. You just come back in. So see, you're going out here, in here. And then you're going to go back down over here. And look for that hole, which is very hard to see, but I can barely see it. Is that it? Yeah. And I'm going to fix these right here. I'm going to do that right now. So the batting's trying to come up with this because it's just the nature of batting. I'm going to go back down in this middle, and I'm going to try not to catch that thread that I'm already. So I'm coming back up. I'm way off. I'm going back in the middle right here. And you'll see I've got 2 threads poking out the middle. What I'm going to do is pull these. I pull them sideways to help keep from tearing the paper up there. See, we've got, there's our threads on the outside for our spine. And then you tie a square knot. Not sure how a square knot goes, but we'll try it. And you trim. So that's one signature. You're almost there. See, I need one more signature for this one. 1, 2, 3. So we're not tying knots in this thread when we get started, like we did when I was sewing the cover. We're not going to tie knots until we tie it right there at the very end to tie our signature in. So once again, this is the top, and you can kind of look. Here's where one of my holes are. They'll line up if you got it mixed up. And I have sewn them in the wrong way more than once. So I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to try and find my hole. There it is. See if I can get it in there. Oh, right there. Let's push that batting back in. Let's see. I'm just not so sure about all this fabric. So when you do that, you just start back over. So I'm leaving a little tail here. Going back in at the top, if I can find it. Should be right around in here. Can see it from this side. Yep. Just go back through your holes. If they got off like mine just did, you just kind of wiggle them. Or you go one hole at a time, one paper at a time, and just line them up. You could have left your paper clips on, which I didn't. That would have helped a lot to keep them lined up. Go back down in the bottom. I'll go completely off track here. I'm gonna get better at this filming and sewing at the same time so y'all can see better. So I'm back in here. And then I got my other hole that's down here somewhere. It's going to be right in here. See if I got it on the front. I'm going to move over just a little bit. This fabric makes it very hard. You could use chalk to mark your holes. That would be a good thing. You could also draw lines. Just do the crosses on the fabric, but use something that can be erased, like chalk. For this one, I would use chalk. And if you can't erase it, you could always cover it up. So this doesn't look too bad, and I'm going to go ahead and thread this on so I don't lose it. We'll have it later. So, and then you tie it. And this is a small pocket traveler's notebook. So, there you go. That's the beginning. You got the cover and you got your signatures. So now we'll go in and decorate. So that is a soft cover journal, and it's just one of many ways to make one. I hope you like it, and I will come back with some more videos on maybe how to make some pockets and tucks and stuff. But for now, let's get our cover and see how that goes. Thank you, and as always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you have subscribed, thank you for coming back. And we will see you next time.